love the red email. You know the red email, you get the email, you're trying to tee up that appointment. You're trying to tee up that appointment for 4 o'clock Tuesday afternoon. You go, I'm looking forward to seeing you at 4 o'clock on Tuesday, right? And they send it back in the red email, 4 p.m., fine, CH. They will not use punctuation. They do not write out their entire name, 4 p.m., fine, CH. Now, of course, you get this email, and there's always the person going, I wonder if I have said something to upset that person. Perhaps I should call them. Do not call them! Send it back the same way it came in. See you then! CH! Quap! And the power of the red email, that'll feel good, that'll feel good. I got one the other day, it was confirming an appointment, the guy sent one back. It said, fine! I sent one back, good! The power of the reds. The red people play totally and completely where? Boom! They want to know, what have you done for me lately? Ooh, ooh, ooh. They want to know, are you with me or are you against? Are you part of my big picture plan or are you not? They do not deal in the past. It is all about the future, moving forward. You walk up to a red person and go, gee, I really like that suit you're wearing. Red person will stop and they'll look at you and go, what the hell did you want? All right? You walk up to a yellow and go, gee, I really like that suit you're wearing. They're going to go, really? It's actually a funny story how I bought this suit. I was there and I was going to buy the suit. And I'm thinking to myself, do I get the shoes? I've already got the shoes. I've already had it, but you know what I did? I just bought them anyway. That was it. And you know who I ran into? I ran into Louise. I couldn't believe I ran into. It was incredible. But you're going to get the long version of the story. The reason you're going to get the long version of the story is these people are visual. And visual people, a picture is worth what? 1,000 words. And by the way, if you hand these people the proposal, are they going to read it? They're not going to read it either. What are they looking at? Pictures! Oh yeah, look at the thing. Here's the thing, they got that little inner song just going on all the time, don't they? I love the yellow email. You get the yellow email. What does it say? Hey! Exclamation point, exclamation point. Looking forward to seeing you at 4 p.m. next Tuesday! Exclamation point, exclamation point. It was great to catch up on the phone! Exclamation point, exclamation point. Smiley face! At the bottom it says, cheers, Chris. It's got exploding stuff and bunny rabbits going. They're the yellows. They live in the right now. As long as this is fun, let's do this. This will be fun. These, by the way, are the most impulsive people on the planet. They're the easiest people to influence. If you want to influence these people, all you have to do is 3 things. Love them, praise them, and make it easy for them. The act was a little bit up, a little bit down. A little bit up, a little bit down. These are the nicest people in the world. They are. They are the best listeners in the world. And they are all about loyalty and trust. These are the trustworthy kind. They are loyal. These people will work for your organization for 25 years, whether you want them to or not. They are the kindest, nicest people. They do not subscribe to gossip. You can't get these people to say bad things about other people, right? You walk up to them and go, hey, Jimmy's lost the plot, man. Jimmy has lost the plot. What's an aqua say? Oh, come on, mate. He's all right. Look, Jimmy's going through some stuff at the moment. He's all right, mate. It's all good. It's all good. Jimmy's a good bloke, mate. They will not gossip. They do not like gossip, right? For the yellows, gossip is a sport. I did not truly understand the blue brain until I got married. My wife's not blue, she's navy blue, which is in the advanced course. I did not realize until I got married that if you're going to have a dinner party on Saturday night, that you set the table on Wednesday. There is a process to go through everything. You know what? The blues are the only people who are ever going to read your proposal. And not only will they read it, they will hand it back to you with the spelling mistakes circled in red ink. Thought you'd want to know. There's a mistake on page 55. Thought you'd want to know. The blue personality, of course, this is corporate Australia. This is corporate New Zealand. This is corporate United States. This is the corporate world because there is a right way and a process to go through in getting things right. Now, very interesting in time. In time, we said the reds live in which time zone? Reds. Yellows? And the aquas. The blues live in all three. The blues go through the process because only by understanding the past, only by recognizing what we did well, what we did not do well, only by recognizing where we were are we now in a position where we're going to be able to move forward. Just quickly, what color is my accountant? Blue! You cannot be a yellow accountant. Now, he said to me, Chris, I'm missing business. And I said, well, talk to me. He said, I need your help. I said, well, let me know what's going on. He said, Chris, I'm missing business because I'm going out to Finley, New South Wales. And I'm sitting down with mom and pop in the living room, and he said, I'm too analytical, too blue in my life. He's not adapting. He said, I'm just too process-driven, too analytical, and I'm missing the human piece. I said, mate, we can solve this. I said, come to this personality profile session I'm running. Well, he didn't come to one of them. He came to 4 of them. Why did he come to 4 of them? Because he's blue. Now, with that, my accountant, realizing he needed to adapt to different people around him, came to 4 of these personality profiling sessions. The next time that I walked into Peter's office, a very different experience. It started the same. Chris, please take your seat, and Peter will be with you shortly. And I did. But then it changed. Peter himself came out. He said, hey, Chris, how you doing, man? Good to see you. I said, good to see you, Peter. He said, come on back. He said, Red Bull was just here I got a case of Red Bull. They were here for the athletes. Would you like a case of Red Bull? And I said, no, man, I don't think I need any more caffeine. I think I'm good, man. He said, Chris, I got some footballs for you for the kids. I said, thanks, Peter. This is great. He said, no. He said, sit down. He looked at me, and this is what got me. He said, Chris, I got to tell you, man. He goes, you look good. He goes, you look good. I said, well, he goes, have you lost weight? I said, no, I think I've gained a little. I've been on the road. He goes, Chris, you look fantastic. You look really healthy. I said, Peter, I got to tell you, man, you seem good. I said, I don't think I've ever seen you with such a spring in your step, man. You seem really happy. He looks at me and he says, no, man, this is killing me. I'm trying to do what you taught me. People are what? People are different. And we've got to recognize that we've got to have a different strategy for different people. This basketball player was telling me about arguments with his partner. He was telling me about these things. He was talking about stress over money. Raise your hand if you ever had an argument with your partner. Raise your hand if you ever had stress over money. Now, these things are pretty common. And then all of a sudden he was telling me about he's frustrated with her friends. He's frustrated with the in-laws. All these different things which are chunked down little things. And I asked him the question. I said, mate, stop for a second. I said, is Jane the person you want to spend the rest of your life with, yes or no? He looked at me and said, I don't know.
I said, all right. So if I chunk you up and ask you the question, is this the person you want to spend the rest of your life with, yes or no? You say, I don't know. I said, let me chunk you up a little bit further. I said, do you want to spend the rest of your life with a male or a female? He took a surprisingly long time to answer the question. I thought we were going a whole nother direction. Finally, he said female. I said, fine, well, let's chunk back down. Is Jane the person you want to spend the rest of your life with, yes or no? He said, man, I just told you, I don't know. I said, all right. I said, here's the deal. The reason you don't know is I asked you the question in the moment. And in the moment, we have no clarity. Our clarity is in the future. Our clarity is in the future. So I said, mate, here you are 30 years old. I said, let me take you 50 years into the future. Now you're 80 years old. You're sitting in front of your open fire with a glass of wine, and you're looking back at the last 50 years of your life. The reason you're looking back at the last 50 years of your life is your wife just passed away. And I said, as you look back at the last 50 years of your life, let me ask you a question. As you think about everything you've done in your life, was Jane the person you spent that time with, yes or no? I said, mate, you're 30 years old. Go to where you're 40 years old. And I said, now you've got an 8-year-old son playing his first ever basketball game. And as you walk into the gym and you watch him doing layups to start the game, and there you are as they're doing pre-game warm-ups, and you're watching your child do something with the goosebumps that just go through you when you watch your child do anything at all. As there you are watching your child do these layups, and the siren sounds to start your game. As you take a seat to watch your son play this game, I said, who's sitting next to you? Is Jane with you enjoying this moment, yes or no? He looked at me and he went, boom, and he answered the question. He had total clarity. Our clarity is into the future. Now you can try this at home. I challenge you, when you go home, do you go home tonight? Go home tonight and sit down with your partner. Sit down with your partner, look at them. You might need a glass of wine for this. Sit down with your partner and say, sweetheart, darling, how do you think the relationship's going at the moment? At which time they'll go, did you cheat on me in Orlando? Assure them that you did not cheat on them in Orlando and that everything else is okay. And ask the question, let me ask you something. How do you think the relationship's going at the moment? More often than not, a lot of times, in many cases, what you're going to get is something like this. They're going to go, it's good. It's busy. I mean, you're in real estate, and there's a lot going on. And with the kids and with life, and I suppose I wish I had more time for myself. And but it's, it's good. It's fine. It is. It is. I think it's fine. It is fine. There's no truth in fine. How's business? Fine. There's no truth. There's no solutions in fine. Try this. Sweetheart, darling, let's go 2 months into the future. And 2 months from right now, you pick up the phone and you ring your best friend. You ring your best friend up and you say these words, I have never been happier in my relationship than I am right now. Sweetheart, for you to say those words, for those words to come out of your mouth, what did I do? What did you do? What did we do together? And you hope they don't say, for me to say those words, I'm in a relationship with the pool guy now. Truth is in the future, and it's amazing. It works in a business context as well, by the way. Chunk up things, chunk down things. Raise your hand if you've ever had an argument with a boss in the past, disagreed with a policy, passed over for promotions, too much paperwork, frustrated with coworkers, all the things. I could stop and we'd keep going. I could chunk you up. I could say, let me ask you something. Is this a business you actually want to be in? Yes or no? In fact, I could chunk you up further. Is this the industry you ultimately you want to be in? If the answer, well, I don't know. Is it yes? Maybe? How do we find out? Where do we go? Well, let me ask you something. 1 year from now, for nothing to have changed in your life, for you to go 1 year from now and have nothing change, how do you feel about that? For you to go 5 years from now, and for you to feel like you did everything you wanted to do over the last 5 years, what did you do? Our clarity is in the future. I challenge you to chunk up. Because the reality is this, no matter whether we're talking about business or whether we're talking about relationships, if we chunk up, and the answer to the question, by the way, is yes, this is actually the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with, then you know what? Even though those little things are frustrating, Those chunk down things are frustrating, you'll work them through. You will, because the big picture's right. In the industry context, if the big picture's right, you'll work those things through. Ultimately, we'll get through this because it's what you want to do.
F-O-R-D, or Ford. This is the art of cocktail party excellence. This is the art of conversation. And ultimately, I'm going to challenge you on how much Ford stuff do you actually know about your guests, about your hosts, about your customers, about the people in your team, about the people that you care about in your life. Here we go. The ultimate communication tool. Let's start off with it as a conversation piece. Now, let's have a look at that slide again. Let's have just a quick look at the F-O-R-D as it stands up on that screen. Now, these are the things that are most important to people in their life. What does F stand for? Family. Boom, that's it. What is the... Now, actually, on your paper, here's the way I want you to write it out. Ready? I want you to go F-O-R, and draw a big line under the R, and then the D, right? F-O-R, big line under the R, and then the D. F stands for family. What does the O stand for? Occupation or organization, either one, right? Occupation, organization. What does the R stand for? Recreation or relax. Either one. What do you like to do to relax? Let's start there. Here we go. F-O-R. Now, there's Steve over here. I've never met Steve before in my life. Now, all of a sudden, I'm thinking to myself, I've had awkward conversations before. What am I going to do? Right, I'm going to go meet Steve for the first time. Don't know what to say. I don't know what I'm going to say yet. But wait, I do. Because the Ford thing I saw at that conference, I'm going to use it right now. Now, in a family context, we start with the F. All of a sudden, I meet Steve for the first time. I say, hey, Steve, how you doing? Yeah, Chris Helder, nice to meet you. And I go, F, 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 F. And don't, internally, not externally, right? F. And I asked Steve about his family. I said, Steve, so with all these kids running around, which one of these little rugrats is yours? He says, that's my boy just over there. I go, man, he looks just like you, Steve. That's incredible. Yeah. And I see a ring on your finger. Steve, your wife's here. He says, that's my wife just back over there. Man, she's hot, Steve. No. Do not do that. No. Instead, wow, how long have you guys lived in the area? Oh, okay, whereabouts? You're in James Lane. Oh, my God, it's a beautiful street. Tree lined. Oh, that's all. So where's little Jimmy go to school? And guess what? I'm going to ask F questions of Steve. Now, is this time for me to share my F? What do? Ask him questions about his F. And that's how we get started. Boom, F. And now all of a sudden I run out of F questions. I think to myself, how do I spell Ford? F-O-O-O-O. So, Steve, what do you do for business? Now, this is a great transition. What do you do for work? What do you do for a quid, mate? What do you do for a cross, mate? Right? What do you do across the board? What do you do for work? He says he works for the bank. Tell me a little bit about how you guys going with the financial crisis. How's this happening? What's going on here? And I ask O questions. Right? Away we go. Now, this is most important. Family, occupation, and this is most important, is the transition to R. I just want to give you a little slice of gold. Little slice of gold. Before I transition into the R, here's what I say. Because the R is going to be, what do you like to do in your free time? I say, Steve, geez, mate, you sound busy. That is the greatest line ever. Right? Every single person on the planet wants to seem and appear busy. It's incredible. They go, oh, man, absolutely. It's unbelievable. Flat out. Absolutely flat out at the moment. They love it. The chest comes out. Now, I've tried this with CEOs. Oh, it's incredible. Chris, it's a very busy time of year for us. I have tried this just in a normal family barbecue with fathers. It is. It's busy at the moment with the family and everything. I have tried this with unemployed people. It does not matter, right? There you go. So what do you do for business? I'm actually in between opportunities. And tell me, what are you looking to actually do? Oh, well, I've been doing this. I've been talking to the recruiter. I've been doing these things and all these things. I said, mate, geez, you sound busy. It is. It's surprisingly busy. It is. And there they go. They give you the little chest bounce and boom, you got the O, right? And away we go. We transition. So what do you like to do in your free time when you get away from it all? And away they go. They're going to start talking about, we love to go to the golf club. We love to go to the tennis club. Right? Again, am I telling them about my F-O-R? What am I doing? I'm finding out in a place of discovery to seek first. As Stephen Covey says, seek first to understand, then be understood. Straight down the line. F-O-R. Now with that, what if it's a business context and it's conversation in a business context? Again, I haven't earned the right to walk up to someone here and actually say, so, tell me, how's the family? Well, I haven't earned that right yet. So when I meet someone for the first time in a business context, which letter do I start with? O, gold. Oh, so tell me about business. What are the challenges you guys are facing? What are you trying to achieve? What is your goal in the first quarter of next year? What is ultimately you're going to put on your commitment postcard? Tell me a little bit about the challenges you're going to face. Tell me a little bit about where you want to get to in August. How do you want to get to Fiji? When do we have to start to? And I'm going to open with O questions. After that, I'm going to say, geez, you sound busy, mate. What do you like to do to get away from it all? And after you tell me what you like to do to get away from it all, then all of a sudden I see a ring on your finger, mate. You're married, kids, fantastic. And I see the picture of your guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to orf you. Every day of my life, I go into organizations. I say to myself before I walk in, orf, 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 orf. And all of a sudden, I'm anchored. I'm ready to go because with everyone I'm going to meet, I'm going to be orfing them. That's what I'm doing. I'm either foring you or orfing you. But what happens all of a sudden if I meet you at the Mighty Geelong Football Club? What happens if I meet you at Cadinia Park? All of a sudden, what's the first thing we're going to talk about? Footy, R. And after that, so, mate, how's business? Everything going all right? Oh, geez, you sound busy. Mate, how's the kids? Guess what? We will rough you. That's it. We're either going to for you, orf you, or rough you. That's what we're going to do. Look at your partner right now and go, for, orf, and rough. Now, with that, by the way, this is where it gets interesting. Is that's really the art of small talk. And here's if you really want to influence people, we need the D. Now, the D is going to stand for two things today. And the first thing it's going to stand for in conversation is what I call deep. All right, now deep. I just want you to write the word deep down. Now, this is the most important thing. Now, the deep is ultimately when somebody looks at you and says, yeah, you know, it's interesting. I probably really need to get motivated to start next year. I'm probably just feeling a little bit anxious, and just with everything and guess what? I'm giving you something. I'm giving you vulnerability. And when somebody gives you vulnerability, that's the D. The difference between a great salesperson and an average salesperson is their ability to go get the D. Right? Ultimately, the ability between having a great experience at lunch and not is your ability to have a friend look at you and share the D. Because the D indicates what word? You only get the D if they what? Boom, trust you. My wife loves this. Here we go. Raise your hand if you're a woman. Raise your hand if you're a woman. Keep your hand up if you like to go to lunch with your girlfriends. Anybody? All right, there we go. Women having lunch with all their friends. My wife talks about FOR. She says we FOR each other. There we are. How's little Billy and how's he adapted to school? Oh, that's terrific, fantastic. And how's your husband? Is he enjoying this? And F. And then O, how's work going? You going back to school? How exciting. What are you going to study? And terrific. Oh, and is your boss still giving you a hard time? O. Then R. Where are you going for holidays this year? You're going to Noosa. You're going to Noosa. We're going to Port Douglas, right? F-O-R, right? Where you go, F-O-R, straight down the line. All small talk, all surface. And then all of a sudden, one of the women says, actually, I wasn't going to share this, but Stephen and I are having some trouble at the moment. And everybody leans in, as she says, and goes, oh, no. And deep down, they're thinking, ooh, lunch just got more interesting. Now, the only reason that anybody would ultimately share the D, the deep, the vulnerability, is that one magic word, trust. How good are you at creating trust? How often in conversation do people go D with you? Now, a couple important things. If anyone, if you want to influence people, one of the quickest ways to not influence people is to not show them eye contact and presence in the now when someone shares their D. If someone shares with you the D, can you write this down, please? Respect the D. Now, the D is a vulnerable piece, and if someone shares, it's amazing how often somebody goes, I'm actually going through this. I go, that's interesting. I remember when I went through that as well. Who's ever shared something with a friend only to have them not really listen? The power of the D is that ultimately I realize they're there, they're giving it to me, and this is how trust, this is how relationship is formed. Boom! The power in conversation of F-O-R-D. Foring, orfing, roughing. Did you get the D? And that's a question I ask salespeople. Did you get the D? Did they share with you vulnerability?
David was challenging. I'd love to say that I was doing really well. I think I was hanging in there by a very thin thread, if all truth be told. And one day I was in the classroom and David's mother came in. If I didn't know that, she said, Mr. Helder, I said, yes, may I help you? And she said, I'm David's mother. I said, well, come in. I've left 64 messages for you. It's nice to meet you. She sat down and told me, she said, I was addicted to crack. She said, I've been clean for 9 months. I'm back with David now. She said, I'm a crack mother. Those words hung in the air for me. I'm a crack mother, she said. The most important words we say all day are those words we say to ourselves about ourselves. Our identity determines our results. And she said, I'm a crack mother, and they hung in the air. She said, how do I do this, Mr. Helder? I said, how do you do what? She said, how do I be a mom to David? The only thing I could draw upon was something I learned in psychology class, 3 words. Act as if. I said these words. I said, if you were going to be a great mother, if you were, how? If you were going to deal with this market, how? If you were going to be a great leader, how? If you were going to be a great mother, how would you go about doing that? She said, I think a great mother would come to the classroom every single day and help you out, Mr. Helder. That so was not the answer I thought she was going to give me. She did. She started to come Monday through Thursday from 10 to 12. She came every Monday through Thursday, 10 to 12 she didn't miss. And we had some pretty tight rules on that, and she came every Monday through Thursday for 7 months until the end of the school year. Some amazing things happened, primarily that, guess what? David's behavior did what? It changed dramatically. I used to give these Student of the Month awards, and I'd love to tell you that I thought a lot about him. Sharita, yep, Vershonda, Antonisha, Deontay, Mercedes. I gave them all the Student of the Month awards. The last day of school, I didn't even think about it. I wish I could say I thought about it. I thought, you know what? I'm going to give David the Student of the Month award today. It was 9 o'clock in the morning. I wrote it out. As we did, I gave everybody a big clap for David, and we gave him the Student of the Month award, went out to recess. 10 o'clock came by, and they all went out to recess, and I see David's mother walking up to me. And she's walking up to the school door, and as she gets to the door, I can see that she's actually totally, completely, hysterically weeping. And in her hand, she's got this. She's got this Student of the Month award, and as she walks up to me, she's literally almost flailing with her body. And she said, Mr. Helder, she said, this is the greatest day of my life. She said, I'm the mother of the Student of the Month. Act as if. She was a great mother at that moment. She'd been a great mother. And when you act as if long enough, an amazing thing happens. You are. We start to actualize, we start to realize you are. And as we take a look at where we want to get to into the future, for you 1 year from now to walk up to me and say, Chris, this has been the best year of my life. What did you do? How did you behave? What did you put into place?